I'm about to break down the exact strategy that you need to follow to write $1,000 per day of final expense or life insurance premium. First, I'm going to break down the exact strategy that you need to follow to hit these numbers. Then I'm going to show you 3 of our clients who are successfully writing over $1,000 per day of either final expense or life insurance premium, and then give you their exact sales process and 5 of their keys to consistently hitting these numbers. So let's get into the video. First, let's go into the process. So I'm going to give you 4 different things that you need to write $1,000 or more of final expense or life insurance premium. Number 1 is simply having more leads than time. So what does this look like, right? Let's say you go into your day, you need to have more leads than you are actually able to call, right? More leads than time. So there's a couple different ways to do this. Number 1 is to buy a bunch of cheap aged leads. You want to be very cost efficient when you're getting a volume of leads, because if you're not, you're having to spend a ridiculous amount of money to get that volume that ultimately meets the more leads than time requirement. So 1 is to buy a bunch of cheap aged leads, and my personal favorite is number 2, which is to generate them yourself. You can usually generate them for 1/10 of the price that you pay at a vendor, and we teach tons of agents how to do that in our free Facebook group, link down below, Insurance Agent Freedom. Number 2 is to leverage pre-booked appointments, right? Now, the reason that pre-booked appointments are so powerful is because you can walk into a day with alley-oops already set up for you to slam dunk. If you walk into a day with nothing and you're trying to call and make something happen from scratch every single day, 1, it gets exhausting, but 2, it's a lot more difficult than walking into a campfire with embers and sticks already set up, and all you need to do is throw the match on top of it. So that is the power of pre-booked appointments. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. If you're buying leads, it's not as easy to get pre-booked appointments. You do still have to call oftentimes, but you can leverage an AI-powered system like we have in Advanced Agent CRM, where you just upload your leads and texts are sent out to them so that you can book appointments that way. Or if you're generating your own leads, what you can do is link your calendar into the lead form when they fill things out, so you can walk into a decent bit of auto-booked appointments. We've seen as high as a 50% booking rate, with averages around 25 to 30% on auto-booked appointments. Now, number 3 is your actual sales process, right? Having a good script. So believe it or not, you actually have to be somewhat decent at selling to make sales, right? Shocker. But there's a really good way around this, or at least a way to fast track or shortcut this, and it's to have a good script or sales process. Now, what makes a script good versus bad? Well, a good script is focused around 1, the client's needs. It asks a lot of questions, and also it hits on the pain points that you gather in the information gathering stage later on in the sale. Somebody who has a great script is actually a friend of mine named Peter Roberts, and I want to give you guys an example. I was sitting in my car with him a couple weeks back. We just got an ice cream. I wanted him to be able to flex his sales skills, so I asked him to sell me a bottle of water, right? So we just had this ice cream, and for the first 3 minutes of the sales process, he's just asking me questions like, yeah, I mean, your mouth probably feels pretty dry after eating all of that ice cream. I mean, would you say that a cold bottle of water would probably help that? And just asking me all these different questions that are basically leading up like a stair step to ultimately close me on a bottle of water, which if he was selling it, I would have bought, because he absolutely just destroyed it. And so again, a good script focuses on asking questions and gathering information, and then tying that back in later in the sales process to hammer in on those pain points and ultimately encourage the client to buy. Number 4 is to build a pipeline. I'm telling you, I lose a brain cell every single time that an insurance agent tells me that they throw away a lead if they don't sell it. That is by far one of the dumbest things that I've ever heard, because a lead is gold, right? You're buying data whenever you're buying leads. And so a smart insurance agent saves that and continues to market to them over time, right? If you have Advanced Agent CRM, you can just plug in all of your leads and we'll drip on them with emails and texts over time, and eventually warming them up to where they're ready to buy. I mean, think about it. If I want to buy a car and I go to the car dealership and I don't buy that day, I'm still going to buy a car. I might just buy it 1 month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And if they are top of mind and continuing to message me, email me, call me, probably going to buy a car from them. Your leads are exactly the same. So build a pipeline. All right, so let's break down the exact numbers that you need to write $1,000 per day in annual premium. All right, so let's say that you have an 8% closing rate, right? And your average policy is $750. If you work backwards, you're going to need roughly 17 leads per day, right? If you're getting your leads for an average of $5 a pop, which is pretty standard if you're generating your own leads, you're going to have a budget of about $85 a day to write $1,000 in annual premium. Now, again, the cool part about this is your leads will stack up over time as you're building your pipeline, and ultimately you'll be able to go back and sell leads that you hadn't had sold before. And so that 17 leads per day will ultimately end up growing and growing and growing as you build your lead reservoir. All right. So let's look at somebody who is actually doing this. Case study number 1 is going to be a fan favorite, Johnny Middleton. So Johnny is currently averaging between $1,500 to $2,000 per day of final expense premium. And actually one time we did a video about it earlier, card right up there if you guys want to watch it, where Johnny wrote $15,000 in one day off of only $150 worth of ad spend. So I asked Johnny, what are the 5 things that you would say are most critical to you writing over $1,000 of annual premium per day? And here's what he told me. Number 1, constant and consistent activity. Translated, calling a lot. Number 2, lots of leads, more leads than time. Number 3, he said a skill to sell, which basically just comes with working a lot and doing those reps and practicing. Number 4, he said, were automations. And this is a big thing with using a CRM. Johnny actually uses Advanced Agent CRM. If you're interested in getting a 14-day free trial, link down below in the description. And number 5 is speed to lead. What that means is calling a lead as soon as it comes in. He gets the notification on his phone, he picks up his phone and calls the lead. That's simple. Now let's look at somebody else. Number 2 is going to be Dan Levengood. Now Dan sells final expense face-to-face in Akron, Ohio. He only does it part-time, but when he does work, he's averaging $1,275.56 in annual premium. Dan knows his numbers. So Dan's process is this. Once a lead comes in, he actually has a dialer, a caller that will go and call through all of his leads. His dialer will try to set appointments. Whoever she's able to set appointments on, he will add into his calendar. And whoever he doesn't, those leads, as well as all of the leads that have an auto booked, will be thrown into automations to have text and emails sent to them over time to warm them up and eventually go out and sell them. Dan also does door knocking, so anybody that doesn't set an appointment will get thrown into the door knocking list. I also asked Dan for his 5 keys to success, and this is what they were. Number 1 was the commitment to the process. Number 2 was willingness to invest in himself and his business. Number 3 was resolving every lead. He said a big part of this was door knocking. He wanted to make sure that he could get either a yes or a no from every single lead so that he could put a disposition on it. Number 4, which I personally would 100% agree with, is having strong underwriting skills. And number 5 was his low pressure sales approach, right? This is being more of a consultant than a salesperson. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier with asking questions in your sales process. All right, and the third case study we're gonna look at is Alexander Vokoda. He is writing $1,200 per day on average in final expense premium over the phone. Last week, at the time of recording this video, he wrote over $10,000 in premium all over the phone, and this past week he wrote just shy of $6,000 in premium. Now Alexander's 5 keys to success were: number 1, getting to leads as soon as possible, aka speed to lead. Number 2 was consistently moving leads through his pipeline. Number 3 was making prospects feel like he was the perfect person to be solving their problem. Now again, this leans back more into asking questions, finding the need, and then becoming the person that can fill that need. Number 4 was digging away at their why, right? Going back to asking questions again, guys. And number 5, Alexander said that his 5th key to success was not asking open-ended questions. Now let me explain. What he means is that he typically will ask a yes or a no question so that he can retain control of the conversation, right? If you ask somebody an open-ended question, they might start explaining themselves out of buying insurance. They might convince themselves otherwise. If you ask a yes or no question, you're able to retain control and lead them down the sales process to ultimately end up buying a policy from you. So if you guys want to achieve these same results and work with our team to get the same setup that Alex, Dan, and Johnny all got, all you need to do to get more information is text AP, annual premium, to 336-715-5444. That's 336-715-5444. Just text the 2 letters AP for annual premium and we will reach back out to you. So that's going to wrap up our video, the $1,000 per day AP strategy. If you guys got value from this video, click the like button down below, leave a comment letting us know what you want to see next, and hit that subscribe button. I have a great video for you that's going to pop up here on the end screen. So if you guys want even more value like you just got in this video, be sure to watch the next one. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.